Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets at Money Control. Here we wrap up the day's trading action for you. I'm Rakshita Madan and joining me is Uttaresh from the Markets team. Hi Uttaresh.
Hi Rakshita.
Let's begin with the biggest news of the day. North Korea obviously on the weekend tested a hydrogen bomb, and to counter that, US President Donald Trump said that it actually threatened to increase the economical sanctions on the country. That sent the global markets lower, and even our markets pretty much reflected the mood there.
Of course, largely speaking, global cues was something that the markets were taking cues from. So as a result of the weekend developments, indices in India actually opened on a slightly lower note, a weaker note. Of course, Asia in the opening tick was also lower. But I think there was another key development which happened just about a couple of hours into a trade in India, is that reports emerged that North Korea now may be seriously considering launching an intercontinental ballistic missile. And so what that made is some sort of a war-like situation very evident, and that spooked investors across, not just in India, but globally speaking as well. So Asia started cracking. Of course, that's because it's the center of the controversy with North Korea. Europe tracking Asia, and it began on a very low note, and it's, as we speak, is also of course trading lower. Indian markets here, the Sensex, it actually fell about 300 points intraday. The Nifty also managed to break 9900. But interestingly, in the last hour of trade, some index heavyweights had some amount of rally there, and indices here in India were seen trimming their losses. So the Sensex ended about 185 points lower, and the Nifty also managed to hold 9900. So all in all, it ended on a rather better note than how we started,
Right, but the bigger concern here is actually volatility. The VIX, right, the volatility index, actually increased 14% today.
That's not a bad. That's not a good sign, so to speak.
Exactly.
Also, one more thing that led to the fall today, Rakshita, was the fall in mid caps. They corrected about 1.25% intraday, but they also, of course, trimmed the losses and they ended about 0.8% lower. All your frontline sectoral indices, pharma, IT, metals, auto, banks, they were all actually dragging the indices lower there. So all in all, not a very decent day of trade as well.
Infosys and HDFC Bank were the actually ones who dragged the Nifty lowest.
Certainly, they being the index heavyweights there, they of course were responsible for dragging the indices there.
Railway stocks were in focus,
yes,
as we expected. They were, going good today after the cabinet reshuffle. So
what is happening is investors are really pinning their hopes on Mr. Piyush Goyal to lead the ministry in a better way, and a lot of developments are anticipated, and that's why stocks such as Titagarh Wagons, BEML, they all had a rally there. Apart from railways, Rakshita, Coal India, that was one of the top gainers there as well, because two things. One is that there's some production number which came in, and that showed some healthy trends, and of course the change of management, there's a new CMD. So Coal India was also one of the stocks which rallied. Also, not to forget Ajanta Pharma, it received an US FDA approval for a drug for Parkinson's disease. Yeah. And so because of that, there was a rally in that particular stock as well.
In fact, there was a new listing today.
Oh yes, Apex Frozen Foods. I think there was a 14% premium that it listed at. And of course, that's seen as a good healthy trend, given the investor appetite for IPOs. We have about 2,000 crore worth of IPOs in September, if I'm not wrong, Rakshita, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one healthy trend that you could take forward from here.
Right. And what were the top gainers and losers?
So it was again Coal India. Coal India and Sun Pharma were two top gainers on both the indices. As far as losers were concerned, Indian Oil, Bharti Airtel and Adani Ports, these three were top losers,
Right. Okay, Uttaresh, thanks a lot for joining me. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Markets at Money Control. For more news, views and updates, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com.